right, so I think we're going live and I think it's working. So that's all good news. It always takes a minute. Well, there's always a delay, so it always throws me off, but that's okay. Looks like it's working. If it's not working or if there are any sound issues, by all means, please leave a comment in the chat box, which you can actually leave me lots of messages in the chat box. And that will help me to know that everything is working well. All right, so welcome to Sight Reading Maverick. I have no idea how many times I've done this now. It started kind of towards the beginning of this whole pandemic time, and it's been a lot of fun, which is why I keep doing it. And yeah, it's just a time for us to gather, for people to give me requests of things they'd love to hear me sight read, and then for me to sight read, which is always good practice. And sometimes I feel like I don't do it enough unless I have a motivation like this. And I've been discovering all sorts of great music and meeting all sorts of new friends, like Louise and his wife Helene from France, who are with us. I see. Hello. And yeah, so without further ado, we are going to start. All right, let's see. Uh-oh, it got out of order on me. That's not very nice. I think I remember my order. We will see. Okay, the first piece oh no, this is right. Okay, the first piece is by Karol Mikuli, who was a Polish composer, and I'm trying to think if I remember anything else. I don't, but Polish, I do believe. And this was a request from a new Twitter friend. And I think it's a he, I don't know. This new Twitter friend requested the Prelude, which happily I see is in C major. So C major, so no sharps and flats, at least not in the key signature. It's kind of an interesting printing. The notes are quite chunky, so I'm kind of getting used to that. It's better than not chunky. 4/4, at least at the beginning, the melody is going to be in the left hand. And the right hand has this somewhat awkward accompaniment. So it moves very much by chord. So when I'm reading an accompaniment like this, I try not to dwell on each individual 16th note, but try to grab onto the whole chord that takes up the whole beat or multiple beats, and just set my hand in that position and rotate in that order that it needs to be in. Further down, the melody goes up to the right hand, and then the left hand takes over the 16ths. Then it goes back. So then the right hand has 16ths, left hand has melody, and that's how it ends. There is one section where the right hand goes up an octave. I just like to check to make sure I'm cognizant of which octave I'm going to, because sometimes that can be disorienting. I also see at the end that the left hand goes up into treble clef, so I'm registering that. All right, it says the quarter note equals 112, so that's going to give me an idea of a tempo. That actually doesn't feel, well, I mean, that's faster than I was going to do it. So, yeah, I'm looking, there are no faster notes than the 16ths. So I'm going to also base it on the melody. So I'm going to try 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to go. That pattern actually ended up being a little trickier than I had anticipated. It's very spread in the hand, so my hand started getting tired. So I started obsessing about that. But anyway, it seems very beautiful. Yeah, so I'm curious. There are other pieces in this set. I think this is a set of 6. So I'm going to go ahead and go on because that was so short, but that was really lovely. And this one looks much harder. Okay, well, let's try it. So it's going to be G minor. It's in 6/8. We've got 16ths again, but this time it's 6/8, so there's 6 of them in a beat. Left hand has accompaniment. Right hand has the melodic material. And that goes throughout. The left hand never has the melody. It always has accompaniment. But sometimes it's quite hard. Okay, so it says 63 for the dotted quarter note. So I'm going to be a little nice to myself, but let me make sure I don't see anything else that looks daunting. There's a lot of sixth passages in the right hand. Some are diatonic or very scale-like, others are chromatic, but at least it's consistent within each one. Got some 2-voice things going on in the right hand, octaves in the left hand. Besides that, let's just see what happens. My brain is slowly waking up here. Oh my goodness. But I actually liked that too. I happen to be a big fan of G minor, so that's good. Okay, now for the etude. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Why would I do an etude? Who knows? Just because I'm trying to wake up. It is on Dantino, B flat major. It looks like you've got kind of a duet going on between the soprano and the bass. And you've got this inner voice offbeat thing happening. There's a repeat at the beginning, which is nice. Got some jumping around in the left hand a little bit. And I'm trying to think of strategy because my brain is a little slower at the moment. And my eyes are blurry. Besides that, it's a great day to sight read. Okay, how am I going to do this? I think I'm going to make sure my tempo is somewhat reasonable. One, two. Okay, that went a little bit better. I like that one a lot. Really, really charming, and I like the lines and all of that. So, okay, going on to number 4 because I'm liking these. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do all of them, but let's do the next one, which is lead, which is allegretto. What time is it? Yeah, this might be the last one. Let me just check what the last one of the set is. Yeah, I'm not going to do that one, so we'll have this one be the last one. Okay, 6/8 allegretto G major. This kind of accompaniment is really hard for me to get nice, but we're going to try it. The repeated chord thing is not my favorite thing in the world to do. So you got these chords underneath with on the top voice is the melody. And then it looks like sometimes the left hand is going to come in and provide a duet. I'm not seeing any key changes that are in the score. Of course, it's going to move around harmonically. Got octaves, so it does the melody in octaves. So I'm not going to worry too much about doing the octaves if I don't want to. Okay, so with an accompaniment like this, it's very, very thick and dense. So my main goal is to really concentrate on the outer voices, of course the melody, but also some sort of bass line to provide some harmony. Fastest note value are these 8th notes. There's nothing faster than that. So that's a little too slow. Is that gonna work? I think so. Let's try that. 1, 2, 1. know. I got a little carried away in that one. I don't know what happened. I think I really liked some of the harmonies and I just kind of drove forward a little bit. And then I regretted it because I didn't have time to look forward and predict what was coming up. So I was like slamming on the brakes. Whatever. Okay, I really like his music. I mean, it's interesting. So I'm very curious to read more of his stuff and to learn more about him. Yeah. And actually, I have on the docket another, I think, might be Nocturnes by him. So we might get to hear him a little bit later coming up. Okay. Next is a request by Louise. And it's a piece by Louise Bertin. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Oh my gosh, my lips are dry. Sorry. It's called Reviens. It's a fantasy. Ooh, the beginning looks awfully exciting. All right, I don't know anything about her. So it has this little introduction that has lots of 16th notes. And it doesn't have a tempo. I mean, aside from moderato, there's not a tempo indication. But it looks very kind of cadenza-y and patterny, sort of. I think there's a mistake in the part. I think there's a D sharp that they didn't mark. So that's okay. And it looks like it does the same thing kind of twice. And then it goes into a romance that's in 4. We're in G major. I already said that, didn't I? Yeah, so 4, G major, nothing too fancy. You've got octaves in the right hand and just an arpeggiated accompaniment in the left hand. So I basically just grab onto the chord in my head and then improvise around that. Not worrying too much about if I'm playing exactly the right notes. If you're in the chord, good for me. Then it goes into this part. There's like these little lines that say brillante. That scares me. But when I look at it, it's just arpeggiated diminished chords, or one diminished chord. And then all these octaves. Okay, and then you've got right hand arpeggiated material that's accompanimental. The melody goes in the left hand. So I'll just grab onto those harmonies. Got more brillante stuff here, but again, it's that exact same arpeggio. Looks like the exact same material. And then we've got sextuplets. Tons of ledger lines. So I'm going to do a quick analysis. Let's see. Looks like it's all going to be in the same chord. So I'm going to just guess, because there's no way I can translate ledger lines that quickly. Oh my goodness, this is going to be really interesting. Okay, then at the end, has this figuration, but the left hand is outlining a G major chord. So piece of cake, right? Oh my gosh. Louis, what are you doing to me? This should be very interesting. At least you liked the Mikuli. Okay. Tempo. So I don't want to go too fast because the fastest note value are going to be these sextuplets. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. I might have to just slow down there, so we'll see what happens. Okay, that was kind of a somewhat disaster, but that's okay. Disasters happen. I don't know what was going on in that. I think I didn't really understand what the composer was doing, which never helps because then I can't really predict what's going on. And it's written in kind of an awkward fashion, and too many octaves. So my hand was getting tired too, which never helps the picture. Anyway, I tried it, Louis. I don't know that I would play that again. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but interesting. Woo. Okay. Next, on to Debussy, his Élégie. I was asking Louis where this piece came from, because he has done a transcription himself and put the PDF up on IMSLP. So I asked, why is that? And he explained that this was written as part of, during World War I, a whole bunch of writers and musicians and composers wrote things to contribute to this folio or album or something that was to raise money for orphans that were made orphans because of the war. So this was a way to raise money, and it was put all together in a folio, and so that's where this came about, but it's not printed in anything else. So Louis has graciously provided people with this transcription of it until it does go into the public domain. So Élégie, it's in D minor. Looks like the left hand has the melody. It's a very thin texture, actually. It's marked lent et doloreux, so sad and slow. The left hand is marked half voice, very expressive singing voice. As with a lot of Debussy, he's going to be alternating between eighth notes, triplets, 30-second notes. He's so much more gesture-oriented. It's only 2 pages, so I'm going to go ahead and just give it a go. Let's see, what tempo? So I'm using the faster note values, especially in a slow tempo. You don't want the faster note values to feel too rushed or crazed. working. That was really beautiful. Thank you, Louis, for transcribing that. I think he also mentioned that in IMSLP there might be a copy, a scan of the original. So anyway, take a look at that. That's the Élégie by Debussy. Very neat to find, and sort of a historical angle on that one. All right, the next request was also by Louis, and it's by Milhaud. So this is not in the public domain outside the USA, I don't think. I'm going to try the Sorocaba first. Only 2 pages. Looks like a great kind of dance from Brazil. Boom, 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 boom. So that's the rhythm. It is going to go faster a little bit in the middle. Faster, faster, and then it goes back to the first tempo. Accompaniment is always in the left hand. Right hand just does the melody. It says 88 to the quarter note. It ends very, kind of reminds me of Hindemith, where you've got a lot of crunchiness and odd things, and then at the end it's like, haha, just joking. I think I did that a little too slow, but whatever. Okay, the next one is Botafogo. I'm checking time. Wow, time flies so much when I'm doing this. Doucement, so sweetly. Botafogo. Same kind of rhythm. Oh, I was caught off guard in one of the rhythms in the first one I just did. It does switch, and I hadn't seen that before I started. So anyway, so we've got bum, ba bum, ba bum, ba bum, bum, bum. And I try to get, if there's a repetitive rhythm, I try to get that in my head before I start, so that I can just kind of go on automatic pilot and concentrate on the other hand. Looks like there's going to be a spot in here where you've got kind of 2 things going on in the right hand. You got sustained chords and then go down. Very typical, I think, for Milhaud. I've done a lot of stuff like that where it's just kind of awkward and yeah. So this might be a little bit awkward, but we're gonna give it a go. So. Lamentar. So you're not supposed to slow down at the end. Whoops. Oh my gosh, Milhaud. Okay, yeah, that was crazy. And what's funny is I usually kind of try to look at the harmonies before I start and get some sort of sense of what I'm dealing with. With Milhaud, that's kind of tricky because it looks like it's going to be normal and it's not normal. So that was kind of wild. But kind of a fun, interesting challenge. All right, we're now moving on. And thank you for your request, Louise, as always. All right, next on the list, oh, I'm going back to this Mikuli guy, this Polish guy. He wrote, I think these are Nocturnes, and I'm going to do the second of them. The first one's interesting, but it has all these arpeggiated things that go between the hands with a melody in the middle, and I didn't want to try to figure that out. So we're going to read the second one. Very interesting rhythmically. I'm not sure how this is going to work. It's in 6/8, which is fine. Eighth note kind of gets the beat, except we want to feel it in 2 big beats per measure. But in the right hand, right at the beginning, you have duples. And then it goes 1, 2. Then it goes back into the compound meter. So it goes back and forth in the right hand, which is very interesting. I don't know how that's going to work. And then, what else do we have here? It looks like it's in F sharp minor is my guess. Yes, I think. Or A major. So it's quite repetitive. Right hand has the melody. Then you get to this like kind of cadenza-y thing where the right hand and left hand have 8th notes together, and you got this weird chromatic stuff, so I'm just gonna have to be on my toes. Then you've got these gestures. And then it goes into this very chordal, it says religioso section in 3. So that'll be interesting. And then it goes back to the beginning material. So I don't know. One, two. Something like that. I don't know why I misread that. Anyway, I thought that had some really lovely moments in that. Yeah, very interesting. And I actually think that oddness with the duple that I was talking about in the right hand was really beautiful. Really worked. I didn't know that it would, but that was neat. Okay, next on the agenda is an impromptu called Momento Lirico by Tchaikovsky. I'd never heard of this, but I like Tchaikovsky's music, so I decided to try this. This is in A flat, and I'm getting towards the end of the show, so I'm not going to talk as much. I'll probably just do more reading. Looks like F minor or A flat. No, it might be A flat. Yep, A flat. 3, 4. Here's an interesting rhythm. Bum, 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 bum. And then at the end, it goes back to the melody. I'm trying to find a good tempo. I have no idea. 1, 2, 3. I didn't know what tempo I was doing, so that was interesting. Okay, I don't know how it's going today. It doesn't feel real great, but alas, that's okay. 7 more minutes. What do I want to do with that? I think can't decide what I feel like doing because my brain is not functioning as well as I'd like it to today. Okay, I think I'll try it. This is a good. I did one of these last week too. This is from a Godowsky arrangement of a Bach violin sonata in G minor, and this is the third movement, which is the Sicilian movement. It's in 12/8. Godowsky is notoriously kind of tricky to read because he has voices that are going to cross and do all sorts of things. But we're going to try it anyway. Scanning ahead. I feel like my brain's not working well anyway, so we're just gonna do it. Okay. I can tell my brain is not with it. So we are going to stop for today a couple minutes early, but thank you for joining me. And hopefully next time we will be in the right place. But that was still great. Thanks for all the recommendations and have a great